Welcome to the year 11 test 2 term 1 core. First one says write down the integer values. The integer values is all the whole numbers that satisfy inequality. Minus 1, x is bigger than minus 1. It does not have that line there. Okay, so it means we do not include minus 1. Okay, so if there was a number line and minus 1 starts here, we don't include it. So the first number we're going to write is 0. And then there's 1, 2, and 3. That would be a dot because it's got the line there. The line means we include the 3. Okay, so we do 0, 1, 2, and 3. But not the minus 1. 0, 1, 2, and 3. If you got one wrong, only got 1 mark. So for 2 marks, you do exactly those 4 numbers. This question is very similar. We go from minus 4, and here's some numbers missing, to 3. So x is in between. And here we can see the signs. Okay, it's always going to be x is bigger than and less than. Alright, but because there's a dot there, it means x is bigger than minus 4. X needs to be on the big side. And because the one does a circle, this is a dot, so x is less than or equal. Again, if you got any one mistake there, you only get 1 mark. To get full 2 marks, you need to have the right signs written in the right, correct way. Next one, we solve this like we would solve a normal equation. So we've got x minus 2 equals 5. We'll do move the 2 to the other side. The minus will become a plus, and y will be 7. Only difference now is we have the sign. So move that one there. So 5 plus 2, so y is bigger than 7. Right, for next one we got this online protractor. So remember this very important thing. You always need to have the protractor with a 0 at the top. It says measure the bearing of B from A. So we need to put the protractor at A. Okay. Ooh. And then of course we always start from the top and going the outside numbers up to here. See, there it is. There's the angle. Mine says 112. See, the outside numbers, you're measuring this angle here, going on the answer 110, 111, 112 is the correct answer. 112. Okay, so anything from 111 to 113 will be marked correct. 1 mark. For question 4, again, you need to take the protractor. And it says a lighthouse is on a bearing of 125 from R. So again, you need to put your protractor at R. And you need to rotate it. Make 0 at the top. Make sure that crosses right in the middle. So you need to have your protractor like this. Once you've played your protractor like that, we need to find the angle of 125. So you go from 0 around to 100. See, there's 120, 125. Of course, then will be in pencil. It's 100, 125. Right there. You make a dot. Yeah. Scale is 1 centimeter is 30 meters. So if you got 210 meters, okay, so 1 centimeter is 30 meters. So you got 210 meters. Yeah. So get from there to there, you divide by 30. So you do the same here. Divide by 30. So 21 divided gives you 7 centimeters. You get the ruler, put it there, and then you rotate it. You see that dot you made? It goes through there, and then you count 7 centimeters. Okay, now this is going to change how, depending on how I use my ruler. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. There we go. And then you draw a line. So what is 7 centimeters here? I don't even know what this measurement is in this. This is obviously not the scale as it is in your book. 2, 4, 6. Okay. Say 7 centimeters is over here. Then you draw a line. So that needs to be exactly. How do I draw a line? There we go. Okay. So to get full marks here, you need to have an angle of 125 and the length of the line needs to be 7 centimeters. Okay, and the lighthouse is there. Moving on to question 5. Immediately here we see we're gonna use SOHCAHTOA. Okay, first thing we do is we label the triangle. Okay, right, so opposite the angle. That's opposite, and then right next to it is adjacent. The A and the O. The O and the A, that's clearly going to be tua. So that means the T stands for tan, then we put the angle. Then the O is the opposite, which is X. And then the adjacent, which is A. So this time to get X, we just need to move the 8 there. The division becomes multiplication. Get the calculator. So that would be 8 times tan. 40. Okay, answer is X equals 6.7127. Okay, if you want to round it, 6.71 centimeters. 3 significant figures. You get 1 mark here for using the correct ratio, doing the correct calculation, and having the correct answer to 3 significant figures or more. Question 6, again, SOHCAHTOA. Again, we got there the opposite and here the adjacent. So we're not using the hypotenuse, so we're using the tan ratio again. So this time it's tan and the angle is X. Then we put the opposite, which is 10, and the adjacent, which is 18. This time we separate the tan from the angle, so we're going to leave the X where it is, move the tan across, it becomes tan minus 1. 10 over 18 stays where it is. So we get that into our calculator. So we press shift, tan, 10 over 18, 29.054. It said, so if you're going to round it, it will be 29.1 degrees. This one only counted 2 marks. 1 mark for using the correct ratio, 1 mark for the final answer. You never know in the exam when they will count 2 marks or when do they count 3 marks. Question 7, stuck with a SOHCAHTOA theme. So let's go again. SOHCAHTOA. This time the opposite is not there. They don't want to know it. We got the hypotenuse and the adjacent. H and A and H means we use K. K, the C stands for cos, then the angle. We got the A is the adjacent, that is 22. and then the hypotenuse, which is x. This time we need to swap these two around. Okay, because the x goes there, the cos here, so x will be 22 divided by cos 36. And so we can put it in just like that. 22 over cos 36. 27.193. If you're gonna round it, it will be 27.2. This time again, 3 marks up for grabs, 1 for using the correct ratio, 1 for the correct calculation, and 1 for the correct answer. Right, question 88 scatter but blurry, we can do this. One student was absent for 90 minutes. Okay, 90 minutes, of course, is 1.5 hours. Okay, and he scored a 46%. So the best thing here is take your ruler. So this will be 1.5 hours. Go up from there. Okay, and now it's very important to see here how many squares there is. Okay, halfway here, that will be 50, of course. So it means each level square counts for 2. So 46 will be 2, 4, 6. It will be the third square up from there where we need to go across from. You need to be very accurate with this. Okay, get it level. And then you need to make a clear cross. Clear cross. There we go. Okay, the next one. The student was absent for 132 minutes. 132 minutes. Divide that by 60, because there will be 2 hours and 12 minutes. Okay, so we got 12 again. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares. 10 squares. And of course, a hour is 60 minutes. So 60 divided by 10 is 6. So each square counts for 6 minutes. So you need to go to the second square from left there. Okay. Again, get the ruler out. Use the ruler. So it's going to be up from there. Make sure it's level. Okay. So we can draw like a line with your pencil going up. Okay, and then it's 62%. 62%. So again, each square on the vertical axis counts for 2. So 62 is just 1 square above 60. So you go. Alright, 1 square above. And you need to be quite accurate with this. Okay, so that's where it crosses. And then again, you make a clear cross there. Clear cross. Has to be kind of perfect to get the marks here. Okay. Then we got question B. What type of correlation is the scatter graph? Of course, that's negative. As it goes down. Yeah. The more hours the student is absent, the lower he score. The more he score, the higher score, right? Draw the line of best fit. So again, we get the ruler out. Okay. Try to have it roughly same amount, top and bottom. Okay. Something like that. Okay. And that's 1 mark, easy mark. A student was absent for 3 hours. Now this all depends on your line of best fit. Okay. So I'm going to use a different color here. For 3 hours, you need to go up until you meet your line of best fit. That's when to stop. Okay. So estimate is end of year result. go across from there. Okay, now again, each square counts for 2, so that's 2, 4. Mine shows about a 47 here, but this all depends on your line of best fit. Okay, if you show this bit here going to your line of best fit, then about any answer you write here could be correct, as long as it's clear how you got the answer. That is what is important. Going on to question 9. Price going to complete this, okay? The reduced price. If you reduce a price, you need to take 100%, subtract 15%, so the final price would be 85% of what it was before, which as a decimal is 0.85. So all you need to do is do 2,440 times 0.85. Put that in your calculator. And you got 2,074. Okay, 3 marks here. 1 for 0.85, 1 for multiplying, and 1 for the correct answer. Question 9. The bear has been hibernating. Okay, it went from 364 kilograms to 312. So first we find the actual weight loss. Okay, so how much did the bear actually lose? 364 minus 312. Okay, he lost 52 kilograms. For real. So to get the percentage loss, you take this original weight, his lost weight, divided by the original always, times 100. Okay, so this one will be 52 divided by 364. That's the decimal value, times 100. Okay. And what we got was 14.285. It says 3 significant figures, so we need to cut it off there and round the 2 up to a 3 because of the 8. So final answer 14.3%. Okay, this is just 1 mark for the actual loss and the correct percentage. Okay, this is simple interest, so remember the formula for simple interest. Interest equals the principal rate time over 100. P is the principal, the money you start off with. R is the rate you have. And T is 4 years. So to get the interest, we do 800 times 3 times 4 divided by 100. So we just do that on the calculator. 800 times 3 times 4. And you get $96. Of course, this is not the value of the investment. This is how much money does anybody. You can't have less money than before. So you need to add it together. Final answer $896. Okay, this one was 3 marks. 1 for using the formula correctly, 1 for finding the interest, and 1 for the total value of the investment. Question 12. It's compound interest. So now when you get the total amount, is the principal 1 plus the rate divided by 100 to the power of a time. So now to get the total amount, the principal P, money you started off with, was 4,500. Rate R was 3.5. And T is the time 6. So we just put that into the calculator. 4,500. 1 plus 3.5 over 100 to the power of 6. And this gives us the final amount. Okay, which is 553,164.8. Okay, if it's money, we can round it to 2 decimal places, 5531.65. And that is the end. Well done. Keep rocking on and get good grades.